Right?
Yeah. I think we're live.
Are we live?
No. Hang on.
Okay.
Give it a second. Pro streamers.
Dude, it's not long. You're broken.
Done. We do. Campus. We're live.
Yep, we're on
Our weekly
now.
live stream.
We're on now.
All right. Welcome to our weekly live stream. And we're, can you get to the background? Can you get our background going?
Hello.
There we go. Sweet. All right. Here we go. And you say we're, you can see us?
We're kind of live.
Yeah? And we're mics. All right. Here we are.
I wonder what the audio's like.
Well, see, that's why I'm talking to the mic. Because it should
That
be
mic
nice
isn't
and-
hooked up to that.
Well, no, but they can, this is mic'd, it's amplified, and then it'll sound loud right there, right? This will be awesome.
Oh my god, you guys are going to break it. This is
Okay, this is going to be fantastic. We've never done a live broadcast before from a convention, so
Friday
you
Street.
know,
There it goes.
what could go wrong?
Oh,
See, oh wait, we have a live studio audience. This is great. It's like we have a
no,
laugh
this
track.
is. Look.
It's just, it's perfect. What? Live studio? It's, are we
Oh
live?
man, this is bad. Yeah, we're on. You're on.
Oh yeah, okay, good. Sweet.
Are
All
we-
right. So we should,
Sound okay?
it'll be great if we keep asking that, like periodically. Are we live? Is it on? Is it on?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, all right. Not a week there.
Commercial.
All right.
There is a commercial.
There's a commercial on you now.
Well, there's always, that just depends on who's watching. There's not necessarily a commercial for the person who's watching. Oh yeah, we're totally.
Yeah, we're gonna watch ourselves. This
Oh yeah, it'll be like a meta. We're watching ourselves. All right. Are you even on camera?
That's got a delay on it.
Yeah,
What
it's
do you-
got a big delay.
Oh, okay. All right. So, welcome to our weekly live stream. Oh, is someone going to do prizes? Who's going to do prizes? Anything else? Whoops. We're so pro. It's awesome. Well, we've never had a live studio audience, so that's why this is. What could go wrong? There's one thing that could go
Even
wrong.
when somebody on
So,
the team is watching from home and not at ACL Fest.
That's why you've got to
I wanted to make sure the audio was good.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
Okay. All right.
Pro streamers.
All right, welcome to our wait. Oh, you know what? I don't even have the script in front of me, so I don't even know. Okay. Can you bring up the Google Doc? All right. Okay. So welcome to our weekly live stream. I am Darkstar, also known as Starlon in real life. And here we are at the Shroud International Convention, doing our first ever weekly live stream with a live studio audience. Say hello, live studio audience.
Hello.
Wow, that's so cool. That's amazing. We should have a live studio audience every time. Can we arrange that? Can you figure that out?
We do have a live, but just not live
Can
in the room.
you have a bunch of people just come to your house whenever you're doing the live stream? That'd be really cool.
Maxine shows up sometimes in the middle of the live stream.
Yeah, that's exactly the
She laughs at my
Are you
jokes.
comparing all of us to Maxine?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay.
Yeah, I think
That would be too good of a compliment.
the emotional maturity level is about the same.
Thanks.
think.
I appreciate that.
So each week we have a live stream like this, and but normally it's from Chris's house where we all join in by Skype. But this time we're sitting here in a hotel meeting space at the Shroud Annual Convention, and we actually have other developers here, but they're lurking in the back. They're afraid to come on camera to this car wreck.
Dude waving doesn't actually
Like, they're just like, yeah, we're good back here.
This is like when I'm doing my stream and I'm pointing at the other monitor for you guys.
We're cool back here. We're just gonna let you guys drive into the wall. It's
Stick
good.
the drink.
Yeah, so they're enjoying a nice frosty beverage. All right, so and normally we have a topic and we show stuff, but of course we didn't have any of that prepared because we spent all our time preparing for all the panels at the Shroud Convention. So we had a good first day, right? So we gave a keynote where we talked about everything we had gotten done in the last 12 months since we were last here at the convention, which was an awesome list. As I was putting it together, I was pretty impressed with ourselves. So good job, Chris. We got a lot done. So like 3 new seasonal bosses since this time last year, including Krampus. And I don't know who gave this to me. So well, thank you, good sir.
Yep.
Maxine loves it.
So please say your name for our studio audience.
Waldo Ptolemy.
Waldo Ptolemy gave me a Funko Krampus for Dark Winter.
That is
Very
pretty cool.
It's so cool. It is like the perfect gift for me. So thank you. And it made me say Dark Winter again. And it's been a long time since I had an excuse to say Dark Winter. So we did Krampus. We did Indie Angel. We did Pumpkinhead. We had a bunch of new creatures like the Nightmare and Top Tier Tables. Fishing Phase 2 since this time last year. That was and multiple scenes, including the latest new one, Ulfheim, which amazing, really amazing scene, and a couple of new dungeons, and tons of quality of life improvements. So it's been an amazing year, and then we talked about all the cool stuff we're going to be doing for the next year.
They're saying fail too much lag.
Fail too much lag. Oh, it's because we're going through Wi-Fi. Oh, well, not just Wi-Fi, but hotel Wi-Fi. So the worst.
Yeah, I did a test at home like when you install and set up all that stuff, it tests stuff, but it tested on my home Wi-Fi, not on hotel Wi-Fi.
Well, luckily we're not trying to stream a game or anything. It's just us talking. So
Seems to be getting worse, not better.
worse, not better. See, what could go wrong? This is why Damon and Travis are kind of
That's it now.
waving from the back, going, "Yeah, you guys are good. You got it. I'll let you drive the car into the wall."
They're telling me to turn off low latency mode. It is off.
Yeah.
I'll go
So
sit in front of the laptop and see if I can do something for it.
I'm sure that's going to make a difference. Chris is going to press some buttons because he is the technology man, and it's going to fix all the things. So I'm sure it's going to work.
Good luck.
What could go wrong? He's gonna break it.
Maybe if I moved every 4 frames, I would match.
Dude,
Yeah, sit very still. It will reduce our bandwidth.
Oh, that works, doesn't it?
sometimes,
Let's see.
theoretically.
Or I could talk really slowly.
I hear it's good now.
Oh, it's good now. I've seen you fixed it, Chris. See?
Oh, it just got better.
Chris?
Just
Oh, wait, or was it my talking slowly?
that must be.
Yeah,
You
so
fixed it.
talking slowly fixed it.
No,
so.
no, Chris is out of the picture, that's
Oh,
why.
oh.
I don't know. It got better.
Well, now he's going to have the Inception thing going where you can see it up on the
Yeah,
screen
that's
behind
really
me.
freaky, because
So-
now there's like 2 of you, and oh dear
So,
God, he's gonna
uh,
break it. You sure you
So
can
look,
button-
oh, this is great. So Chris is going to give us a lesson on OBS by
Oh, yeah.
he's going to have
How
it
to
up on the
mess it
screen.
up.
And here's our password.
And so he's going to.
Or who would ever show the Twitch password on a live stream? Is he around here somewhere?
This is the part where I was saying what could go wrong.
That's what it is.
With our weekly live stream.
Asterisk.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to change this, I think, while I'm streaming.
All right.
There's a replay.
While we're sitting here flailing about wildly, I think that's a perfect time. You want to put the picture back, or you want to leave the OBS screen back there? Okay.
There you go.
We could let people ask us questions live. What could go wrong?
That's a big, long delay there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like-
Yeah, like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
What's
Buffer,
long delay?
buffer.
Yes, go to
Yeah,
the-
'cause
Oh, they're just
Talking about
they're just
Krampus.
now seeing the Krampus.
Krampus.
Yeah.
You have left to sing. Yeah.
All right. Anyone want to just throw some questions out for our viewers out in Twitchland? No? Okay.
Wait, what?
Thanks for the help.
We should
You
point
guys
out that they've been asking
Put us on the
questions.
spot, give us a second, we'll get warmed up, hang on.
5 hours straight.
There you go.
Did it?
Life Tree, can we get some kind of channeling defensive spell to cast on somebody else?
Repeat.
So that the caster is not.
No, where's the microphone? Hold on. Oh, where's
Well,
Laz
Chris
and
Well, Chris can repeat the question.
You want to make a difference.
Oh,
They want to record the thing because they're doing
Oh, I
other
see.
things, so they're gonna put their thing up and well.
oh, okay, there's lots of things.
The
Oh,
thing.
We're just gonna talk into
that was very specific.
Testing.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Can we get some
Hi.
kind of defensive channeling spell in the life tree that we can cast on, let's say, our tank, so that our healer is not face tanking the mobs?
You say channeling, you mean like a continuous spell?
Yeah, it would have like a drip through your focus, let's say. So essentially making your tank like a guardian in some sort.
Yeah, and we've got some of those types of things you can use on them already to like mitigate
Okay.
damage through heavy armor. We don't have that in the life tree though. They're generally blasting heals. But having one where you could do a, like basically you're giving up your focus, basically you're casting a shielded air on them, but it's pulling off your focus is another one of those things that would be cool. As we mentioned here earlier today, that's one of the things for episode 2 is there's going to be 1 to 2 new skills, spells per tree. That sounds like one. Life is one that needs a little bit of love. I mean, it's kind of low down the list because it's such a specialist. Like everybody knows what life magic does, and it's got to be healing type stuff, and it fulfills that. But trying to expand that out to do a little more than just like banish undead and having some other things in there that make them more active rather than just like, do I cast the big heal or do I cast the small heal? And that's pretty much the job. It's the same way with the taming, trying to get more active stuff that they can do. While they're in combat, rather than it just being I watch health and I hit the button when that bar gets below whatever, becomes the healer's life. So having something where they can do something more active and make some more choices about how they're going to work with us is definitely on the list. So yeah, I kind of like that idea of having the channeling type stuff where, like I said, it's effectively a shield of air that you can cast in somebody else that's pulling off your focus so you can absorb the damage from it or split their damage somehow. So, cool.
Awesome. Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody else brave enough to talk on a live stream? Anybody want to come up and say hi on a live stream? Zeke?
We should
Somebody?
I've never been on a live stream before. How does that work?
Well, why don't you show them, Jack?
Anyway,
Well, we'll get on stream. Oh, there's a
look, oh my gosh, we have people. We have people.
And look how many meds behind it is. That's
Yeah.
still when I was down there measuring things.
Oh my
You're not
God.
going to be able to see yourself.
You're not gonna be able to see.
You're
See,
going
see,
to will in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you gotta wait 5 minutes. So,
So we're just gonna stand here and like.
we don't have to wait.
Well, what do you
5
want me to
minutes.
say?
You can say
Hi,
anything, just say
guys.
hi from the
How you guys
Shroud
doing?
Convention.
We're having a great time out here at the convention, and we wish you were here with us. I'm Zeke Cooper from the BMC. You have a good day.
There you go, see, perfect.
Are we all live streaming?
Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't watch it, huh?
No.
No.
Everybody's screwed up because we're eating our own bed,
Right,
setting
yeah,
up for
yeah.
children.
Yeah,
I've now turned it off. It's all good.
No, you're not.
there you go, good job.
Hi, I'm Flair. I catch bigger fish than famines.
That was trash talking.
I'm Obsidian Shade, I represent the BMC, Medal of Chaos recipient last year's convention. We wish you all here.
Anybody else?
Stand around.
Oh,
I am Tina O'Neill, also at the BMC, and yeah, I wish you all were here. Apparently I'm a ninja.
I try to keep from looking that way because I get blinded. We do also have a video that was made of the Black Sales event that I can show if we get to a point where it's a low spot and we want to try playing something.
Why don't you play it right now?
I can't.
Do
Are we
it.
already at a low spot? 5 minutes?
No, no,
Three?
just good. Why not? Why not play it?
All right.
If you have something to show, you just mentioned it, so that's an opportunity to play it. Can't mention it and then not play it.
I could set it up for later and they're going to be excited. Well, I'm going to keep watching the stream because later they're going to
Oh, well, then don't play it. Don't play it then. Or just play like 2 seconds and then be like, oh, no, now we're not going to play it. You can tease them with it.
So I don't think the audio is going to come through on the stream, so we should probably talk over it.
I think you should sing.
Sorry, we should voice over it.
Okay, yeah, let's
I'll sing
voice
later in
over
the
it.
stream if
Okay.
people really want me to.
Is it playing?
And there's people giving bits, by the way, that we can't actually see the bits on here, so you guys are going to have to pat yourselves on the back.
There's a quiet sadness. A melody of instruments can be heard across the land. As more fighting broke out, I can't read that. The Obsidians were coming in search of the primal knowledge to gain the greatest power ever known. The drums of war could be heard across the land. An evil presence ahead. The Obsidians are now here! To arms, to arms! This is a really good video. I'm sorry to ruin it. I feel really bad about it. Death game never took it. Screaming in anguish was heard across the city. See this?
Story by Morris Monroe, Catherine Rose,
All right, so I feel much shame for ruining a beautiful video, but you know, enhanced it, sure.
I request when you put that video on YouTube or whatever that you make sure to go and rip it out of the stream so you can have our audio next.
Yeah.
Our special effects.
Yeah, well, YouTube might flag that for trademark because you know obviously we ripped that off of a famous song. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now we got some time loop going on over there.
The audio.
So you just started.
Very loud.
Yeah, we've got a really bad, of course, we have a hotel connection, so even though everybody turned off their streams, we're still
And is it
totally not streaming the exact stream that you're supposed to be watching in real
Yeah, no one's
time?
watching the stream and consuming more bandwidth here at the hotel. Okay.
3, 4.
Yeah, unfortunately, all the hard lines are down, and they're working on it. They've got an IT guy who is international like your guy is, so they're working on it.
Do they need help?
I offer.
Soon, Kim.
All right, any questions on stuff? Just so people know, we have already had at least, let's see, 3 or 4 hours yesterday of Q&A, and then 3.5 hours plus today. I have a question.
Did Dodgeboro mitigate damage yet?
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't got that. That's one of those things I agree with. I just haven't figured out the exact number and made the time for it. I'll put it on my list, man.
I think we put that JIRA in like you wrote that JIRA like a year ago or more, and I keep assigning it to him, and he keeps dodging it.
Because I never.
He keeps dodge rolling it.
Oh.
What? You see what I did there?
I did see that.
You got a Dodgeboro.
He didn't duck it. He didn't duck it.
Any player questions out there?
Oh!
He plays more than us.
That's a valid question.
That's a good one.
For those who missed it because it's off camera, that was a Deb asking that question.
Yeah.
That was Travis.
The one who was waving in the background, going, "Yeah, drive a car on the wall. It's good."
So, Chris,
Yeah.
when are we going to get some more damage on our pitchforks?
On your pitchforks, that's one we actually talked about earlier. Is one of the improvements we made was the adding
Pronged
weapons to the game. But that's also one that I mentioned that when the change went in to fix it, so dragons were actually tough. Where I found the problem that was making them not tough at all. It increased the damage mitigation of all creatures, and of course the damage resistance type stuff is per hit. The cool thing with pronged weapons is when you hit them, it hits them 3 times for smaller amounts of damage, which means that change made those pitchforks, those pronged weapons, way, way worse than they were before. So if archers were screwed before, like pitchfork guys are way screwed because they were already somewhat not terribly effective anyway, so that made them worse. So yeah, so that's one that needs to be looked at. I had totally forgotten about that. I hadn't had anybody complain about it till today, but I've got it on my list of 1,000 things that you guys want. So, and it's a quick one.
At some point, I saw you mention new pets, new destroyer level pets, cats, and those sorts of things. Are those coming up on any particular schedule? I don't think we've talked about that.
Yeah, so we added a bunch of top tier tameables a few releases ago, and we definitely going to add more. So we added the Polar Mutilator Bear, not as a tameable, just as a new.
You hear that?
What?
You hear that? Oh, there it is again. It's Snugs throwing us 100 bets at a time.
Are you watching the stream?
5 minutes delay. I must be hearing that from the future.
And so of course, anytime we add a new creature, and it's like, when is it going to be tameable? And like the nightmares, we just added the nightmares, and it's like, when is it going to be tameable? And so, and we had, and then I think when we added the unicorns in.
I don't have any bets, but I'll bring you a beer.
Oh, nice.
Hey, that's bribery.
That is bribery.
I thought you said you were bringing us a beer. This is a Bud Light.
Wow. That was, I mean, it was hurtful, but true.
Just now and then.
It's okay, you don't have to stop drinking and driving after drinking that.
That's true. It's rehydrated.
Yeah. And we had originally said, oh, you shouldn't be able to tame the unicorns, but I think we just decided we're not going to do that. So I think we're going to make the unicorns and the nightmares
Unicorns
stand.
Nightmares tameable.
Yeah, all that's going to be tameable. So, when? Soonish.
When?
Soonish.
When soon-ish?
How about before the end of the year? And that's one of the things, those guys, part of the reason why I
Which
wanted tameable.
Which year?
Which year?
Before the end of a year.
Before the end of some year. Within a year. How about that?
Within a year?
The reason I want those guys is because, again, I'm trying to make sure things feel more unique, and having unicorns and having nightmares, those are things that have some unique abilities about it. So it's not just you know, same, does everything that a bear does, but looks different type stuff. Trying to get those different. I've made a little variation in terms of the other tame creatures and hopefully make them a little more interesting. But those are like way over the top, more cool, interesting type stuff, and getting the top tier, you know, wyvern and stuff like that in. So those are all things that I want to get in, and they don't take a huge amount of time. There are more things that every time we add one of those things, it's a lot of time to test and, you know, figuring out the variations and all that stuff. So,
Can we get baby dragons to generate sulfuric ash?
baby dragons do.
Baby dragon generates sulfuric ash. Oh, you mean like when they explode?
Well, it'd be
Yeah.
like a cornucopia thing, you could get it.
We've come to the decision that
Yeah, there you go, right
you
there.
need some bunny ears.
Oh yeah, because I'm wearing a hat. You should wear something. So, well, there's been a thing in the backlog forever where like all of the elementals should generate loot associated with their element. So that's something I've wanted fixed forever. But yeah, the dragons should do something similar too. Sure. Yes.
Marquee Dragon.
Yes, Mary Dragon, not Marky.
I know.
We should have a quiz. You should have to name everybody in the room.
Do I get to make up the names?
And you can't read the names.
You want to know your name?
What is my name?
Mary Dragon.
For that one.
We're talking about the young dragons, what about the tamables? I have the entire rainbow of them, being a tamer myself, but they all have the exact same attack and the exact same, that is something we talked about before.
So that's largely true for the existing dragons too. That's one of the ones that came up that I've said I will try and prioritize just because it is really less than a day's work for me. Oh, the question, because he didn't, he's not on microphone.
Yeah, no one gave me a
You
mic.
can't hear. He was saying he has a rainbow of baby dragons, which is awesome, but they all do the same stuff. They're just different colors. And that's one of the things that came up earlier in our discussion was dragons largely in the world. A few dragons behave differently, have different resistances, but not all of them. A lot of them are just like it looks slightly different and it does the exact same thing. So that is on the very short list of things, and getting the resistances is at the very least they'll have different resistances. Getting the different attacks is that guy that's to your right over there may block for some of that just because we need some dragon breath of different types. If we're going to have poisonous dragon breath, we've got to get a poisonous dragon breath VFX going for it.
Make that. It just takes time. I can do it.
I know.
It's not Z1.
You're cheating. You're watching the stream again.
You're killing our bandwidth.
You had made a projector system where you could project like your heraldry a lot like months ago.
Yes.
And I have never seen that in the store or anything for sale or anywhere.
And I owe that to the Syndicate guys, because I was supposed to be there one of the things for the Syndicate. So that actually, I have it done. I got the one for the Syndicate, and actually people saw me on stream. They had it done and all ready to go, and like here it is projecting all that type of stuff. And then I created the task for the heraldry side of things, and one and only went and saw that and was like, well, this is gonna suck because you can't project colors using that same system. And he went and worked on getting a system together to project colors that has some issues still that kind of like I was waiting for that to get resolved. But because I owe the Syndicate guys their stuff, I'm gonna get theirs done because theirs does work in black and white. The heraldry stuff hopefully will come along once we get this done. But yeah, that's the idea, is that you'll be able to project a color image up on the wall from like a projector, so you can put it outside your castle, point it at the front or whatever, have it inside for your dance parties. Yeah, that is in there. The tech is done, but right now the tech only supported black and white. We're working on getting that color, it's the big holdup. But soon, very soon, you'll be able to destroy everybody's performance. I don't think it'll be that bad for my test. I tried it out, so.
It'll be the new mannequins.
The new mannequins. Who was it that said they had like a mannequin, 100 mannequins or something in their house, and they wanted more of that? Yeah.
Oh, we could give projectors that mannequins could hold in each hand.
A handheld projector.
A handheld projector that you could put in the hand of each mannequin.
And they get the headlamp too.
Yeah, headlamp. Yeah,
headlamp projector.
Totally. It's like that'd be perfect. Okay, other questions?
What are you doing?
There's like some rules for drinking on air. I don't know if we marked it mature.
We're marked mature, don't
It's
worry
a-
about it. Just be yourself.
They got
Good Lord.
that, so.
Other questions? Come on, you guys had thousands of stuff earlier today. I can go over some of the stuff that you guys have mentioned that we talked about. If you guys want to questions.
Or I can devolve to script off memory of like the usually stuff I talk about in the weekly update. Like if you haven't played the latest release, there's lots of cool stuff. All time, the coolest scene that we added in a long time. It's really cool.
Where are you talking? What's going on?
Did I lean too far forward?
I think you leaned too far.
I leaned too far forward. Ooh. Okay. All time's really amazing. Nightmares are really cool. David did an amazing job. They look great.
So, Chris.
Nightmares will eat your face.
Yeah, they are really hard. They're fun. And
Hey, what's that? I'm not dead.
yeah, and
You have to say, hey, God, before you.
yeah, Pumpkinhead is back. So that's fun. And the luminous atavists are back in hiding. And the comet is really big now. It's getting really visible. So that's a really cool annual event that we have. The Ether creatures started appearing last release, but they're still around. But they're only around for a little while, so remember to go hunt your Ether creatures to get the unique stuff from them. And then Release 71 is going to have some cool stuff. And that's going to go on QA next couple of weeks. Right.
Wizard Smoke wants to get on there even earlier because he's finally has the deco palette to a point where he wants to
really?
test it. Which again, for most casual players don't even know. He's said casuals, and it's an insult. He said casuals versus
no.
casual players. Don't know much about it, but anyways, yeah. So we're gonna do QA probably next week, which will be a whole week before lockdown.
Good.
So I'm working. I've updated how we integrate stuff so we can actually get QA builds much earlier without worrying about it screwing up our live builds.
Great. And we've got another round of spooky items in the vault as of today. Did the bill go live?
Nope.
Nope, not today.
I uploaded. I didn't have time to push that last button.
Okay, so as of tonight, I guess.
Yep, I'll do it right before I go to bed so I lose sleep.
Including one of my favorite armors in the game, which is the Rotten Armor, which is like really, really fun. You basically look like an undead warrior, like because you look like a ghoul with undead armor on. It's very fun. Yeah.
Lady Skull Mask.
Oh yeah, that was a new thing that because Halloween's like for a lot of us is like one of our favorite holidays. So we made a bunch of fun stuff. Like the login reward is a skull mask, and then in the store you can buy a flaming skull mask, and the rewards are all spooky themed. So just some fun stuff.
I can go down our list of stuff. You haven't heard a lot of this stuff, so.
Oh, great! Surprise me.
Yeah.
Surprise!
So some of the stuff that came up today, and this is by far an incomplete.
So this is all feedback from players that we got today at the conference.
And actually, this doesn't include a lot of the stuff I got yesterday. And
Okay,
for those who
great.
missed it, if you didn't come to SodaCon, they did a boat thing last night where they got me out on a boat, which I was already saying that I was going to wear swim trunks so I could jump overboard and swim to shore because I didn't want to be trapped on a boat with fans for 2 hours with no way to escape. But it actually went pretty well, but they did sit around and basically go back and forth, hand me the mic and quiz me for 2 hours straight. I was expecting Maxine to be my excuse to get out of it, but somebody was babysitting Maxine for me, so.
There you go.
They had it all planned out. But anyways, so Arcane Catalyst is one of those things we're going to get some more uses in. That's when that was changed, so you can only turn in 18 a day. That meant that a lot of people, guess what, they got them piling up all over the place. We're going to start using those for some other crafting stuff and come up with more uses for those. We're going to look into more bundle builds in the Crown Shop, kind of for the starter stuff. We used to have those, and we went to all piecemeal. We're going to have more like bundle type stuff. Another one that we're looking at that I think I've mentioned once before, but just talked to people here about it today, is the idea of selling house bundles. Oh, Deco Diva should plug their ears. Selling houses like row lots and village lots that are kind of starter houses that come pre-decorated that have the decos built into them. And what you're buying is they appear in your Magic Mover slot. So basically, you can just go and you buy the thing, and then like you put it out there, and it's already a pre-decoed house that already has kind of basic. It'll have crappy furniture.
Deco baked in or deco?
Right.
It'll be actual decos that are in. That's why it has to go to Magic Movers rather than being a house.
Pre-placed decos.
Yeah, pre-placed decos.
So you can move it around.
Yeah.
So once it's in there, then you can rip it out. But again, that's one of those things when players are just getting started. Of course, we know deco is one of the really strong, fun parts, but you put down house and you have nothing to go in it, and that part's not fun. So start them off with some, kind of crappy but useful furniture that kind of makes it feel, kind of staging the model like you do when you're selling a house or whatever. So players jump in there and it's not like I have an empty house and what, now I got to go craft a bunch of junk. So having that type of stuff so they get a starter and they get a feel for like actually decoing it. Let's see, gold and silver scraps, that's a long conversation. Vegetables on vendors. This is one of those weird ones that I think we just missed, and hadn't been informed of. That was a Zeke pet peeve wherever Zeke went.
Because we're killing the farmers. He wants to have a concert.
So we added, early in the game, we had our merchants and we put all these vegetables and stuff, everything players might need to try, like cooking and other things on it. But then when we added in farming, we didn't remove it. That's one of those things, when we have stuff you guys can make, we want to make sure and try not to compete with you wherever possible. So they will either be removed completely or the price will get jacked way up so that farmers can compete with those guys. And players have a reason to buy off of other players instead of just like going to the vendor or whatever. Let's see, somebody mentioned the idea for 100 scrolls to craft a book. Who was that? Anybody?
That's Buckaroo.
Oh, all right. Well, Buckaroo Babanzai mentioned the idea that I kind of liked of the taking 100 teleport scrolls that you can take anywhere. You take it to a crafting station and craft it. And when you craft it, it actually stores that position but makes a book. And that's a book you can give to other people. So when they use it, they teleport to that. So people can make, like for their own house, I can hand a book to somebody else that here's the teleport to my house book. That basically, again, you take like 100 scrolls or something, maybe some other ingredients, but it actually tracks where it was created, so it's a return to that spot book. Dragon resistances, I already mentioned. Our dragons not only do not have cool attacks that match their colors, but the resistances do not. The resistance part is trivial to fix. Again, having the different attacks to match them is a little more work, but I will definitely Jira that out for Damon to work on, because he never has enough to do.
And now I think we should have a chromatic dragon.
And a chromatic dragon, that's a great idea. We can use the rainbow attack and be a rainbow happy dragon.
What? No.
Very unhappy.
Let's see. One of the things that came up is, again, we were talking actually about a partner we used to have that I won't name, but they had a person that worked for them that did some great player events that everybody really liked, and they said that was like the saddest thing is when that person left working with the project. But it was because he was able to do some player events, and really looking at what he had, like the tools he had, are pretty limited things. It's something that I could trust some people with. Again, not many people in this room, but some people I could probably trust. I said not many, maybe I was talking about you. Did I trust you?
Oh, I thought
Shouldn't
you meant
say that live on the air.
Wait, I thought you went the other way.
Yeah.
But anyways, trust some players with some of these commands. There's not any way they can really break stuff. We already have a system where we have we can have it so it dumps to our chat windows in our company-wide client chat client stuff. So we can see when anybody does something. We'll have like a real clear log of what's happening. It'll actually alert us. But anyways, giving some players some of the dev commands that he used and was used to actually create some of these GM events, so we can go do some GM events. And that's one that we really just need to move a few dev commands and add a little bit extra stuff, because right now, of course, we test on the server and everything when dev commands get used and all that stuff. We just need to make sure we've got a separate flag so we can flag you as a kind of a mini dev, something like that. But have that so we can let you use some of those dev commands so you can do things like summon creatures, so you can do things like be invisible, so you can do things like fly and teleport and stuff like that. So we can let you guys start doing some of those type dev events, because that's one of those things I think would be really powerful. And I know a lot of you guys would want to do, not a lot of you, many of you would want to do, and all of you would want to take part in. Let's see. Player vendors for crowns. I forget, we talked about this many times, and I think it's one of those things that may have just fallen through the cracks, but this is being able to take items, put them on your player vendor, but instead of putting them up for gold, put them up for crowns. So that's one of those things, again, one of the hot topics that we've chatted about has been again, moving to a lot of items that you buy in the store, the premium items being no trade, and different things. That moving them to no trade may be the middle step with a longer step coming up of something like, you can trade them, but it's a 10%, crown rate for whatever the price was. So you got a, 500 crown item, you just have to pay 50 crowns to trade it to somebody else. Again, looking at different stuff like that, but having a player vendor that you can put stuff up for crowns is a really good idea, and I'm not sure why it hasn't happened. I'm trying to remember. There has to be a reason, because that's one of those super obvious things. Let's see. Turning some counts up for things you can buy. This is one of those things I think is a leftover, really, it's a remnant from before in the old days when we were trying to force regional economies, and some of these things that really just honestly pissed off players, and we should have dropped earlier on. But it was, the limited number of items on stuff. So you go and you try to buy Black Pearl, and you can only buy 1,000 at a time. And guess what? 3-4 clicks to do each 1,000, and you're trying to buy 15,000 Black Pearls. So you can go practice, do some crafting stuff, or just need your reagents. I think that's left over because we used to have the idea that we want to have a limited number of things, have scarcity of those things, and they're just things you can't have scarcity of. People, it's just really irritating, and especially with the Black Pearls, one to use as an example, because Black Pearls are really the reagent that gets used a lot.
Teleport recall scrolls.
Yes, and that you can't find enough of it in the world. How many Black Pearls, how many times you're going to go get the oysters? And you guys should all be thinking of questions. Question?
On the subject of Black Pearls, what about being able to somehow have oyster beds and farm them?
Yeah.
Yes, we should totally do that. It's been in the backlog for years now, and absolutely. It should be part of agriculture. You should be able to do it right next to the shore. Yeah, agreed.
Do it this year.
But in a year, yes. In some year, yes.
That one, I'm sure we have the art for it. We have the tech for it. The thing I think we're missing on the tech side, though, is figuring out where you can place it and try and come up the right along shore. It's one of those things, again, that the immersion side of things, it just feels stupid if you can just plant your middle of your row lot on a grassy field with a bunch of oyster beds. So maybe something different that needs to come out of that. But yeah, we need to have some way to have that happen, or we need to have make some adjustments to how Black Pearls work. I think probably one of the easier things is making it so when you find Black Pearls, it'll make it feel super special, as if we just hey, guess what? Black Pearl, when you farm Black Pearls, you find your oysters on shore, it gives 10 times as many as it does now. Just because I know that's one of those things I've gone running around, and I get excited when I see them. I think most people, when they're out harvesting stuff, they almost expect to be able to run from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and if they're not harvesting, then they're doing something wrong. But Black Pearls, yeah, you got to run a beach for miles to find any Black Pearls at all, so it should be giving more of an explosion. Any other questions before I get back? Come on, guys.
First time player, long time fan. I have a friend who couldn't be here today, and he wanted to know when cannibalism's going into the game.
Yeah! Come on!
It's obviously a Lord British plant. Any questions related to cannibalism were obviously planted by Lord British. So the question was about when is cannibalism going to be put in the game? So I really want to know what Lord British's obsession with cannibalism stems from, because he really is obsessed. I think his quote, I had dinner with him the other night, and we were talking about because whenever we get together, we reminisce and we talk about decision points along the road of not just about this project, but lots of projects in our career. And I was just going, if we had done A versus B or B versus C at different points along different projects, and he's like, well, and I'm giving real heartfelt answers about, well, you know, if we had hired this person or if we had made this particular decision, and he like just stops me in the middle of it, like, and being in all seriousness, and he's like, you know, none of that is relevant. If it's because you didn't put cannibalism in the game. And I'm like, really? That's the thing?
It's true.
So he's like, yes, that would have made a 10x difference in our sales. And I'm like, oh my God. Still, you're still obsessed with cannibalism. And I think it's because he was so obsessed with how we did it in Ultima Online, where you could have like the meat jerky, you know, Dark Star jerky or Atos pie, and he just and we ended up having to rip it out because, like, I think we couldn't sell it in Germany or Japan even, and like Japan was our second biggest market, and the Japanese were like, you can't sell this here, like not with like making human meat dishes, like, and but he loves it so much he wants the cannibalism. And I found out DayZ has cannibalism.
Really?
Yeah, and
that's why they have more players.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
And the producer guy, huge UO fan. Like he said, he was that's one of the reasons it's in there, because he was inspired by playing UO back in the beta when cannibalism was in there, and he's like, and he vowed like someday when he was able to, he was going to put cannibalism. So there you
So
go.
you still haven't answered the question. You're avoiding.
Oh, there was a question.
When
Yeah.
you're going in, is
When?
Yeah, so sometimes we say this year, and sometimes we say within a year. This is a some year.
Oh.
There's a chance we will put it in some year.
Next week.
That is some year.
And the reason for it is if you eat the heart of your enemy, you gain his strength.
Sure. Well, I mean, we already let you, craft, items out of the trophies that you get from your enemies. So, I mean, it's not.
I want the head of Lord British on my wall.
Yeah, too far. You make a goblet out of the skull, so it's not too far.
Yeah,
I mean, it is
something like a
farther too.
Yeah, but you don't eat the skull goblet.
Well, you drink out
Drink
of
from
it.
it.
So, anyway.
Anyways, let's see. Any more questions right now?
What is a paladin?
What's a paladin?
Let me Google that for you.
Do you want questions from outside? Because I've got a couple.
Sure. Great.
Will more work be done on player dungeons to where we can change out different creature types per room so that we can have some variety?
So there's lots of work that needs to be done for dungeons, but yeah, one of the ones is making it. That kind of always been the plan, that you would, rather than being this is just an elf room or this is just a lich room, that you could go up and if you put an elf totem down, guess what spawns? Elves. If you put a lich totem down, guess what spawns? Liches. So yeah, and that's again the lich totem is really going to become an undead totem, and it's really moving more to categories of stuff. That's partially just to simplify things because we don't want to have or 20 or 30 different types of essences dropping in totems and all that stuff. But it's also just offers some more flexibility in how we do things and putting stuff together. But yeah, there's going to be more control in that. The other one that I was just mentioning earlier today to some people was another thing that fell through the cracks that I would expect to be big, which is the deco spawners that you can place anywhere. I actually did the tech for those things, got them on a stream, tried them out on a stream, and then hey, anybody on the stream want to try? And somebody took them, and I totally forgot about them after that. But they've been in game for a while, but the person actually, I think you guys were saying it was Z that had them.
He sold them to me.
He sold them to you. Oh.
Yeah, and you cannot have them back now. They're
But
being
anyways,
used.
Z apparently put them right at the entrance to his town or something, had them slaughtering people.
Yeah, that was us fishing. He slaughtered us.
But anyways, So that tech, that was the proof of concept for that tech that I never actually rolled up. There's lots of stuff where one of the things that came up earlier was people was like, I want cats wandering around my town. And that's the type of stuff we could let you put down like a pot deco that just makes a cat that wanders around the town, or cats that wander around the town. So you can turn your house or your town into a cat town or a dog town or whatever, and have those as deco spotters.
If you do that, could you make the spawner like, let's say, a cat dish or something, so we can find it?
Ah.
Yeah, because you can't, the cat, it could be in your house and you don't know where the spawner is. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't see
Or you don't know where the cat is.
Yeah,
Where's my cat?
either or.
Sure. And that's one of the things, if people watch some of my morning streams, I've been working on some new tech because I've been making some big like maze things, and I've been finding some things with creatures breaking once they get to a certain distance. I've got that mostly fixed up now so that you could have your cats and you place them, and it has like, creates 10 cats that just wander like a large area of your town, not just like stay right there. So they wander around and then they might infest other people's lots and be really annoying.
So traps and dungeons.
So traps and dungeons, could that be, when the dungeon is in active live mode, can they be invisible so they don't look like big white floor tiles that people can jump across? And
Wait, when they're in adventure mode, they show up?
yes.
Yeah, they
They
do.
always have.
What?
They
All right.
fixed that.
Yes.
Tell me to fix that.
Touch my screen.
Write that in there.
Touch your own screen.
That's
You got your own
I'm typing that for you. Get that note.
Dungeon traps.
Yes, so we should fix the fact that traps are visible when you're in adventure mode in dungeons. Absolutely. That's terrible.
Kind of defeats the purpose of having a trap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad trap mix.
It's also that way in the Elysium Mines, on the stairs, when you go.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
Oops, the cat's out
That
of
may
the
be
bag
one
now.
that changed, like occasionally will make, there's an invisible object that we hide through shader stuff, and we've been doing some more shader work here recently, so
Yeah, that
that may be
was-
one
Been
that
there for a couple of
accidentally broke.
releases.
Yeah, we probably broke a shader. That's probably what that is.
We'll blame people who are not here.
You're right.
That's always the best plan. Yeah.
Okay, yes, next question.
Going back to the player-made dungeons and the rooms, is there a way we can make the rooms flagged as PvP as opposed to the entire dungeon? So that we can have sections of our dungeon that are PvP?
So yeah, we have tech. That's one of those things I'm trying to remember. We use it in a few places, but we have tech where we can toggle on and off PvP based on a volume. Now, how we let you set the volume, that's one that we might be able to let you set per room. The challenge with that ends up being you walk into a non-PvP dungeon and you walk down the hallway and you get slaughtered by a player. Surprise! That we got to make sure that there's some clear thing. So it may have to be a visual cue of you go into it, or it may be, you have to have a hallway that leads up to it. We'd have to think about trying to make sure it's not too exploitable, that you get people to come to your dungeon and then gank them over and over again.
Yeah, full loot will be good.
That's one of the ones we were talking about earlier as well, when we were talking about some PvP stuff yesterday. I forget if it was on the boat or after the boat, but it was, we used to have this old arena that a few people remember and like have fond memories of, which I have fond memories of it too, because we played a ton with people on the team and we're in there fighting. But that one uses
blue versus red?
Yeah, the blue versus red. But that was one of those things where it was originally intended to be set up with a PvP volume, so the people who are in the stands can't fight each other, and the people who are in the arena, they can fight each other. But I know some of that tech rotted, and some of the stuff in there rotted, and we had some problems with it. But I don't think it's unrecoverable. I think that's one that's probably worth digging out and fixing a few bugs with it. But anybody else? If not, I got some more stuff here. All right, one of the big requests that came in was mannequins in marble. And really that turns into mannequins in something other than just wood colors, like having some interesting stuff in there. Because right now we have them, but they're all in just plain old wood. Be interesting to have some in other type colors or shapes or sizes as well. That's another one that we technically can do that's not that difficult, is making it so mannequins are scalable. Do we have mannequins set up? Can you guys scale mannequins right now? I forget if we blocked that on mannequins.
We set all mannequins?
No, mannequins are containers, you can't scale.
You can't scale because they're containers, okay.
Yeah, and plus the idea is that you're,
Well, I can't. Just because you can doesn't mean I can.
well, plus that we're putting gear on there, and I don't
Yeah.
think we let you
Yeah, but
scale
the
gear.
mannequins
Oh, we let you
don't,
scale gear.
so-
We do?
Because the mannequin is basically uses the same tech as the player for displaying stuff.
Like player characters, yeah.
Right, but I mean, we
We
don't,
can scale a player character.
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah, you can, but we can't. Otherwise, we don't get running around.
Well, I'm saying we could sell like larger, smaller mannequins if we wanted to, just for fun, sell them.
I need a
little-
500-foot mannequin of myself.
All right, well, I think that says something about you, but okay.
My God,
There's a little bit of scale on your character.
Huh?
There's a little bit of scale on your character.
He came to my town one day and made me Gigantor. It
Well,
was
yeah.
hideous. I wanted to throw him out, but Pat said I had to play nice.
Let's see, I think I mentioned the cat deco spawner thing, but that's, again, that's something we could do for towns in general, is having more deco spawners for, you know, just stuff that's visual type stuff there. And of course, it'll be up to the governor to figure out how much they want to punish people with, you know, performance hit. But honestly, that's one of the things that actually does scale really well now, is handling things that, simple NPCs that do nothing but wander around and, you know, maybe have a little dialogue type stuff, so.
Speaking of cats, can we get a juggling involved for me?
Juggling
cat
cats.
juggling, yeah.
We'll
Steve
give us
Martin fan.
a headline with PETA,
Oh, yeah. Hey, no, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Yeah, so,
No cats were harmed.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say flaming cats, I just said.
Yeah, just regular cat juggling. Yeah, just regular cat juggling, not flaming cat juggling. Yeah, got it.
Another one is we have sucked, I will say we, totally not me, but we have sucked at doing QA rewards for people. Gonna try to do a little better than that. I also owe a few people some bit cloaks for my stream, sorry about that. Ooh, I also owe some people, I'll take care of that, I owe some radio guys some stuff. But let's see, yeah, but we owe people from some QA stuff, and we need to give them some chairs and pictures and ant farms and all the crap like that. I'm sure you have created a Jira right there in the past, and it's sitting on me.
Yeah. Hi, Zeke. What, you got a question?
No, I have a comment.
Okay.
I see that you two are enjoying some nice refreshments on air again.
No.
And that
No,
is
that's your
pleasant.
imagination.
That is a pleasant return. I like seeing that.
Well, thank you.
Just bottle that.
It's not actual beer.
Yeah, not actually refreshing. That was one of the requests that I had, was Catnip Games bring back Boozin' Friday streams.
Well, you have done that.
I have a little, I think I did it like on one stream. Richard's the one that, of course, is always like, anytime we say, hey, Richard, you gonna drink on air? And he'll run and get whatever and get.
Yeah, he boozes it up.
Yeah, boozes it
Now,
up.
whoever it was that made the suggestion, kudos to them, but that's a refreshing return right there.
The other one that people requested was doing like the crazy, like 8-hour streams or whatever. I don't know if Maxine's gonna approve of that one, but we'll see.
Well, you should give Maxine a segment.
A Maxine segment?
Yeah.
I'll get some Maxine art and game. You guys will love that. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, totally.
Maxine dance parties.
That will make
Very
Maxine
fair.
art painting.
Let's see, snow pavers.
Oh, yeah, that was one thing. So, people who have alpine pots will be happy to know that they can finally put trees down, because either probably next week, or at the very latest for release 71, we'll have snow-covered spruce trees that they can place. So those are going to go in the crown shop. Damon made those last week, and those will go in the crown shop soon. So snow-covered trees, just in time for Christmas. And yes, we're going to be those people who have Christmas-type decorations in the crown shop before Halloween. So we're already those people. So I'm ashamed, but not proud. But proud at the same time. But there won't actually be Christmas decorations, because technically a snow-covered tree is not a Christmas decoration, because it doesn't have sparkling lights on it or a star on the top. So technically that's not a Christmas decoration. So I'm okay. I've skirted the line. Yeah.
Costco had Christmas decorations almost in August.
Yeah.
Seemed like it started September, we went in, and Maxine, if you have a 5-year-old and you take her shopping with you all the time, she, of course, like, Christmas! Yep, nope, not Christmas, that's a long ways off.
Yeah.
And you can correct me on this, this was one that came up that I am not sure about because I do not know everything about the game, but they have pot NPCs they can place for the pot.
Yeah.
But we don't have any way they can do that for their lots, for individual lots. They don't have a way, this is, I think the real request was someone wanted a bartender. They wanted a bartender NPC. This does turn into a little bit of slavery type stuff, and I'm sure there's gonna, again, be more people making their.
It's Sanyo. Are you looking for your hat, Sanyo? It is right there. It's your hat's right there. You should, wait, you have to come on camera because you came looking for your hat. So you have to walk behind us now. Look at Sanyo.
Somewhere in there.
He came looking for his hat.
SANYO.
No, SANNIO.
And that's all he did. See?
That's it.
See ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And we're just about out of time here. Any questions? I see back there, there's 2 questions.
No, I was waving at him to say hi.
And we're very sorry, viewers, that we did not do our normal prizings. We'll have to do double prizing.
Double prizing next Friday?
We'll do double prizing next Friday.